Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective, and if you can see over my shoulder here, that is the recently acquired shelter dog named Penny. And mailman asked how she's settling in, and I believe she's settling in pretty much on her back. Um, she has chosen to be a part of the live stream. She's going to probably be one of the patriots joining us for all of these. Hello, Bobby. Miss Mary, good to see you. Margot, mailman, you guys are great. Good to see all y'all. um, Interesting show we got coming up tonight, or as Ed Sullivan would say, very interesting show. But hey, Patty Tothwhite, I want to talk about. Obviously, we're going to go over the headlines that are pertaining to military and veterans. That this week, what is new, and then I'm going to be talking a little bit about charities, veterans charities. Hub, welcome. Look like a new face or a new bird. Not familiar, but welcome, welcome. So anyway, this show I need to give some credit to California Critic. Um, you're gonna make it pop. You get yourself in there too much. Ugh. There. All right. California Critic sent me an article about a charity in apparently, I think it's in California, but anyway, in that particular charity, I'm going to be going over it in a little bit, but it is not a good one. So credit where credit is due. Hello, Pete. How you doing? I Bleed American. Welcome. Did somebody else slip in here? Black Spring with Autumn and Colleen O'Sullivan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's the number 2 for Bobby? Or was that supposed to be 12B? 12B, Georgia. Good to see you. PDX, welcome. All right. If I haven't seen you yet, I probably will in the future. All right, I'm going to open up these articles and see what I can find. I'm going to obviously start out like I always do with the inside governmental affairs. And there are 3, I think. Yep, 3 new articles this week. Misprint. Yeah, well, don't let it happen again. You're fired. Old Reliable, good to see you. Cinder Loner, good to see you. All right, so let's get this thing started here, see what we got going now. All right, VA encourages communities to volunteer and recognize hospitalized veterans during National Salute to Veterans Patients Week. So, nice little program. If you are in a position where you can go visit a veteran, you should do it. They're always happy to have people around, talk to them, especially in bad times. C and Black Matter, good to see y'all. When you're in a hospital, it's not a very friendly place. I mean, no matter how nice the nurses and doctors are, it's just not an environment of comfort. So take a minute, go see somebody if you get a few minutes to do it. It says, the VA encourages the opportunity. Okay. VA encourages communities to volunteer and recognize hospitalized veterans during National Salute to Veterans Patients Week. Okay. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, VA, will honor hospitalized veterans at VA medical centers, clinics, and facilities nationwide from February 9th to the 15th. So, let's see. The annual observation gives all Americans the chance to thank more than 9 million veterans who received care from VA through volunteering and creating Valentine's cards. And that's kind of cool. VA values the contributions of our volunteers, donors, and partners that help us keep the promise to Americans' veterans, said VA Secretary Robert Wilkie. I encourage more people to reach out to their local VA facilities and find ways to volunteer not only during the National Salute to veterans patients, but all year long. Each year, volunteers from schools, communities, groups, and youth organizations nationwide send more than 100,000 Valentine's cards to VA medical centers for National Salute to Veterans Patients Week. VA aims to increase awareness of each VA medical center by encouraging citizens to visit, Hospitalized veterans volunteer their time and donate their local VA facilities. So, interesting. If you get some time, um, get out there and check them out. Patrick Jane Forums, welcome. Um, I was reading. So, Ronald Rodriguez, I see you there. How you doing? Um, all right, not too many got away from me. If I haven't waved my hand, you can smack me around a little bit, and maybe I'll straighten myself up and wave my hand appropriately, like I should to begin with. Nacho's live stream. How you doing? You want to see Penny? All right, let me see. Penny, Penny. Hey, uh, can you be bothered, or are you busy? Penny, well, come here. Come here. Nope, that is one very comfortable dog. I'm pretty sure she's going to want to stay where she is. I'll bring her out in just a few minutes, though. I'm doing great. Thank you. All right, let's get back to it here. Next one here says statement from Secretary Robert Wilkie. Let's open up and see what statement. Armaghost, good to see you. Gotta wait for the flash. All right, here it is. Office of Public and Intergovernmental Affairs statement from Secretary Robert Wilkie. That's his statement. Wow. Today, I dismissed VA Deputy Secretary James Byrne due to loss of confidence in Mr. Byrne's abilities to carry out his duties. This decision is effective immediately. Get him out. The swamp is being booted. Christy Ledford, how you doing? I am doing well, thank you. All right, so another one bites the dust. And as you guys know, the Vinman Trader twins, they came in a match set. They're out of there. Also, the hearsay master from the hearing, ambassador to the UN, is out of there. And as you might have suspected, the Democrats are losing their frickin' minds because their structure is being dismantled. They're losing their connections to the inside, and they're not going to have control much longer. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, I think you guys know that I lost my Jack Russell. We had him for just shy. I think we had him just right at 17 years, and he was an abused pup when I got him, and had a life of love after that. And she's one-eyed. She's our little one-eyed bandit. When they got her fur was completely black and totally matted and basically welded together. And apparently, my assumption is that some of these dogs are victim to eye infections, and I'm thinking that maybe hair grew into her eye and caused an infection and caused the eyeball to pop out from the swelling. So they did an emergency surgery on her when she got to the shelter, and then a couple days later, they did surgery again to spay her and shaved her down, and now she's a white and tan dog. So, yeah, thank you, Cinder. Yeah, we miss him, and we realize that having a little pocket dog around, even though we have our 100-pound beast, is kind of nice. And the funny, not so funny, but interesting thing about when we brought her home, my great big 100-pound man killer broke down in tears again. He's 3 times now that he has actually had the quivering lower lip, the sniffing and huffing, and the tears rolling down his face. And I was asking my wife, I was thinking, I wonder if that is because he's happy that we got another little pet for him, or if he had a flashback remembering our Jack Russell. But the two of them are hitting it off pretty good, so I think it's helping him out too. So anyway, so that's good. All right, back to it. Secretary Wilkie's statement on President Trump's State of the Union address. VA Secretary Roberts released the following statement. We'll open it because I am curious. Dems are a bunch of limousine liberals. Yep. The only reason they got the limousines is from ripping off America for so long. Thank you, I Bleed American. Yeah, she's cute as a button, and she doesn't seem to care that she's got one eye. So we're gonna grow her hair out and make it cover that eye socket, and make her look real pretty when she gets her hair grown out again. All right, here we go. Secretary Wilkie's statement. VA Secretary, we already read that part. He released a statement. They have to repeat it like 3 times. America's accomplishments during President Trump's first 3 years in office are nothing short of historic, and tonight the president set forth a bold and optimistic vision to build on the progress. Whether it's the expanded healthcare choices of the Mission Act, the increased education option of the Forever GI Bill, or the enhanced flexibility of the Appeals Modernization Act, millions of veterans are benefiting from the landmark reform VA has implemented under President Trump's leadership. All right, last sentence here says, tonight President Trump made clear that the future will be filled with many more successes for veterans and all Americans. Now, Vince Dunn, good to see you. Welcome. Miss Mary, hi there. The VA Forever GI Bill is what I meant to say there. That is interesting, and that could be beneficial because the GI Bill is a program where it's almost like an insurance program. You pay a certain amount of money out of your check each month for the first year that you are in the military, and it's usually a pretty expensive payment. But that, in turn, after your tour of duty, after you're finished with your military service, then that money gets added onto by the government and by the taxpayers, not the government. They don't have money. And anyway, as long as you're not going to Yale or any of those liberal psychopath colleges, you can afford to do pretty well in college, and you get paid a little bit of money each month while you're going to school. Now, sometimes they have glitches in the paperwork, and they did that to me. I signed up for college. I was supposed to get, I think I was supposed to get like $500 a month, and plus my books, and basically I had to pay a little bit, and they paid the rest. Well, they screwed up my paperwork, so all of a sudden I didn't have the $500 a month. So I ended up doing a full load of classes for a fall semester, but then I had to work a full-time 8-hour day job, so it was absolutely brutal. But once I got it squared away, then I could ease off the hours of my job, and I was able to concentrate full-time on school. What is Pete babbling about now? Antifa don't matter anymore. They lost all credibility after Virginia. Yeah, we did that. Let's see. I know I live in Portland. The police once again are doing nothing, and they made it clear that they won't do anything. PDX. That's they made that very clear to what is his name? Andy No. Told him we will not be coming to help you. That's pretty pathetic. Almost sounds like the Patriots need to go and give Portland some freedom. So we'll see how that works. Anyway, so that was all of the articles on intergovernmental affairs. So it was pretty much just patting backs from Wilkie, but not a bad thing. But anyway, so here we are in military daily news, and got to start it out with the sad news and the disgusting news, the most frustrating news. We lost 2 of our special ops soldiers and 6 injured in a attack in Afghanistan, apparently an insider attack. Dangerous Freedom, good to see you. So here's my gripe about it. I'm really sick and tired of these insider attacks. We do not know who our enemy is, and we don't know if our enemy is already in the den. And this is just insane. And then you had Lindsey Graham last night on Judge Janine. She asked, why are we still over there? Well, so we don't have them over here. Well, we all know that's crap. He is a warmonger. The only reason we're still in Afghanistan is to protect the goddamn drugs. They are there protecting poppy fields and trying to make sure that Afghanistan stays on the petrodollar. And you know what? I'm a soldier. I'm a veteran, and I will do whatever's asked of me in service of my country. But I'm frankly getting a little sick and tired of us having to go have our people killed off to protect big bankers, oil, and drugs. Uh, at some point, we've got to start protecting our homeland and getting rid of our local enemies and quit trying to prop up bankers in foreign wars. So that's what I got to say about that. But anyway, those two guys, they were from right over here, just south of me. I mean, I can. We listen to their bombing range every day where they do their training. They were right over here at Eglin Air Force Base. So I am very, very close to that. So it's a very close to home kind of loss for our military, and it just pisses me off. I'm so tired of it. But anyway, I hope for a fast recovery of the 6 that were injured, and I hope the 2 that were killed can rest in peace and go with God. So anyway, so let's see what else we got here. Oh, California again, kids. 24 California Marines kicked out over smuggling and drug charges. Well, bye. No respect whatsoever. I have none for people that get in our military and do this. And this is a result of the indoctrination and the dumbing down of society and the softening of our military. Who the hell are we getting in there as soldiers now? Because the pickings are thinning, and it's getting ridiculous. But I wouldn't have just kicked them out. I'd have thrown them in Leavenworth, let them spend a little time there on their way out, because that's disgraceful. And the question I want to know is, what the hell were they trafficking? Was it kids, or was it drugs, smuggling, or whatever? But anyway, so I hope they get their asses nailed to the floor, whatever. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Oh, yeah, Thailand had a shooting. That was pretty bad. An unarmed population is nothing but a bunch of rabbits. They just get shot. Nothing they can do about it. Yeah, no more supporting nasty bankers. Amen, Vince. That's what I'm screaming. Unfortunately, a midshipman dies during physical readiness test in the Naval Academy. That is a PT test for those in the Army. But yeah, this is not that rare, because sometimes you get these kids that have been couch jockeys for most of their teenage years, watching TV or whatever, and then all of a sudden they go into basic training and they are exploded into physical activity. Well, sometimes the heart can't take it, whatever, but they end up losing people in their training test because they're not physically up to it, or they had an underlying condition that they didn't know about. So we'll just pray for them. All right. Colorado Air Force veterans funeral draws hundreds of strangers in a snowstorm. Well, good on you. I'm good. I'm glad with that. People have to give a damn, because we are fighting for our very existence right now between the liberals and the psychopath Democrats and the communists. So they better start respecting the soldiers, because they're the ones that are going to jump up and give this country back to you, the people. It's necessary. Just people have to take a few minutes and give a damn about what the soldiers do, and that's a great way of showing it. Patty, my daughter and son-in-law are based at Pendleton. They told us that illegals work on the base at their housing and the maintenance terms and landscape are that is ridiculous. Oh man. Well, thank you for that. I'm going to do some research on that. We might be talking about that in a future show. Thank you. Um, let's see. Well, White House dismisses Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, or as I would call him, Vindman. Um, no respect. I would salute the rank. That's what you do. You salute the rank, but the bag that's in the uniform, you don't have to give two shits about them, and I don't about him. He's a pathetic disgrace. Just, I think he's probably I think he was raised to be a spy in our country by a program that was started in the 50s by the Russians. He just happens to be one of them. A generational takeover of our intelligence agencies and things. God bless America. Welcome. Good to see you. How many people we got hiding up in here with me today? 21? That's about average for the show. If you guys know some veterans out there that would be interested in hearing some up-to-the-date info that's going on here, if you would please just take a minute and tell them about me. Let them know about this show on weekends, because I really want to reach more veterans. I want to be able to expand this thing, but I just can't do much until YouTube lets go of my oppression and suppression. I'm trying to get past the monetization part so that I can start putting money back to be able to go to events and to be able to be more involved in the community with veterans projects and stuff. But I can't do that until VA lets go of this hold they have on me, or not VA, YouTube. But part of that would help a lot, is to get more people to the show, more veterans that are interested in hearing what's going on. And you guys can help with that. So I would appreciate it if you guys did that for me. Rebel Jack, good to see you. All right, so that was all that we had from military.com. I pulled up Military Times also just to see what they have going on. Syrian army vows to keep up campaign against last rebel area. So good. Finish that up. Hopefully they'll get something done there and get more of those rebels out of there, and allow us to get the hell out of there and come home. All right. Do what? Are you asking us to plaster the American Legion and moose gloves and all the like? No problem. Yeah, please. I need to get some flyers made up of my little cover page and make up a little information, and then I will have some flyers that I'll be able to get out as well. What is it, Patty? Last year, the illegals working on the maintenance had master keys to everyone's home, and they were going into the homes and stealing from them. Let me tell you something. We're definitely doing a show on that one. Gern told you. All right, so VA doctors are using artificial intelligence to diagnose cancer. The potential of these technologies to improve healthcare delivery to veteran patients seems to be limited only by the imagination of the user. That is way vague. What the hell are they going to be doing to diagnose cancer when they say artificial intelligence? Because we know that many of the left and the Democrat communists have artificial intelligence, which is none. So maybe that's inefficient intelligence, I'm thinking, but either way, they don't have much to give away. And the new punks getting in our military. It is truth. At Pendleton, the freaking drill sergeants and them are not allowed to do anything that could make those snowflakes. Yeah, the timeout cards. I had a timeout card. I remember it vividly. I was feeling stressed out, and I I kind of let out a just because I needed to relieve some stress, and my drill sergeant came over and gave me my stress card right across my cheek with one very large hand. And after I picked up myself off the ground, I felt very relieved of my stress. So, yeah, it helped a lot. So that's the kind of stress card they need. Slap their ass, bring them into reality, tell them life isn't as simple as you think it is, and you will grow up strong. Let's see. Air Force wastes 17 million on unneeded, never delivered weather sensors for repeater drone IG finds. Much of that going on, ladies and gentlemen. If they can't spend their budget, then they lose the money. That's how that works. You get a certain amount on your budget, and then if you don't spend that amount, then you don't get that much in your budget next year. So they will blow this money, and it doesn't even have to have anything physically present after the money's been blown. All it has to do is show paperwork that they got them. So there's a lot of that going on. All right, so sounds more like cheerleader camp. It is. Yep. The mini skirts are quite cute though, so that helps. Uh, all right, so I think this. Oh, here's an interesting thing. Another example of a piece of garbage that we should be glad to be rid of. It says, booted by Trump's team, ex-Navy Secretary Spencer stumps for Democrat rivals. Well, it already tells you what kind of ass was put into that position. And the purge that Obama did was very successful, getting rid of the people that would stand up for the Constitution and putting all yes men in their place and yes women. So that way he could soften up the military and he could get them to turn on the American people and all that stuff that they were planning for. Yeah, Vince, I thought I almost threw up a little bit in my mouth when I said that. I caught myself. I realized what I had said. So yeah, that was distressing because my drill sergeant was pushing 400 pounds, had probably a 6 to 8% body fat. He had hands like baseball gloves, and that doesn't go in a miniskirt. I'm just saying. So anyway, that was a big dude, and he had a thunderously deep voice, like God. So he had everything that you need to be a nice, big, intimidating drill sergeant, and he used it. So it worked out well. All right. Now let's see, where are we on time here? Wow, I hit that one just about perfectly. I figured about 30 minutes on headlines, but a little chit chat in there too. So we are right on the 30-minute mark. Now, what I wanted to talk about in my second half of the show is these charities for veterans. Now, there are some outstanding ones, and I'm going to give them the credit that they deserve. But then there are some that aren't worth the 501c3 forms they had to fill out. And I'm going to get to those too. The first one I wanted to talk about was Gary Sinise. Now, I've been following him for a long time, and I know what his organization does. We went to a Pensacola. He's the earth man. He's very civilized. He's personable, and he gives a genuine damn about our military, and everything he does shows that. He runs his charity like a tight ship. So by far the best charity I wanted to open with, and that is Gary Sinise. What I want to start with is it's specifically the letter from Gary Sinise. This is in his cover page on the Gary Sinise Foundation. I recommend you look it up if you have something that you can put towards his efforts. They have programs of every description. They have housing assistance. They have medical programs. Pretty much across the board, they try to do everything they can from top to bottom to help the veterans. Yes, Lieutenant Dan, you got new legs. Stupid is and stupid does. Mama said life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Anyway, enough of that. All right, letter from Gary Sinise. After the tragic events of September 11th, 2001, I began devoting much of my time supporting the men and women who were deploying in response to those attacks. The brave service members who each day protect and defend our great country. Having veterans in my own family and having been involved with supporting our military veterans going back to the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it was after the terrible day I decided to become much more active for our defenders, however and whenever I could. A few years after 9/11, I visited local New York firehouses, befriending many firefighters, and have supported the FDNY through numerous efforts, including raising funds to build the Brooklyn Wall of Remembrance in honor of all 416 first responders lost on that terrible morning. Though the Disabled American Veterans Organization, I found it my mission to do all I could to support our wounded heroes and their families. And by getting involved with many other veterans initiatives, I began to support the children of the fallen Gold and Blue Star families, and wherever I could serve and honor the need within the military veterans and first responders communities. Miss Mary, did you ever hear his band? Yes, that's what we went to see, was his band. Very good. It was a lot of fun. Um, all of the people that play in his band are just cool. I mean, just right up front, cool. And I got to talk to a couple of them when they were in their break, and there's no ego there. It's not that kind of thing. Fight and defend. Good to see you. So all of them are very personable. They're just real people, and that's what I like. There's no persona. You get what you get. Anyway, so the other thing was with Gary Sinise, I specifically said that, veterans programs, but he does Blue Star, Red Star, and Gold Star also. So he's involved with the police departments, the fire departments, and the military, and he really does a broad spectrum of taking care of the needs of many. All right, next part here, it says, over the years, I have met many dedicated people who are also actively working to do the same, and I have tried to do what I can to support their efforts, as well as spearhead many projects in my own in support of those who are currently serving, have served, or first responders and the families who serve alongside them. I've traveled to visit our troops in Iraq, Afghanistan, and around the world, and have also performed with my band, Gary Sinise, the Lieutenant Dan Band, in Kuwait, Afghanistan, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Italy, United Kingdom, Japan, Okinawa, Korea, Singapore. Diego Garcia. He went to Diego Garcia. Very highly classified base. Guantanamo Bay, Alaska, and throughout the U.S. in an effort to help boost the morale of our troops and military families. Through my travels, I've seen firsthand our service members' extraordinary dedication, and I've seen his extraordinary dedication. The last part of his letter here. My personal mission is what led to the following of the Gary Sinise Foundation in the 2011. And with the help of supporters like you, we will continue to expand this mission in support of our nation's defenders, veterans, first responders, and their loved ones, while upholding the importance of keeping our country strong by taking care of those who serve. While our program and projects have currently made a difference in many lives, there's much more work to be done. I encourage you to browse our website, look into our programs, view the many great videos that show us in action on our YouTube channel, read about some of the heroes and the families we have had the privilege to support, and consider making a contribution to help us do even more. On behalf of all of us here at the Gary Sinise Foundation, thank you, Gary Sinise. He deserves a medal for what he's done. He did get one. He's gotten an awful lot of medals, but his most recent was from the Medal of Honor Association. What was it? Medal of Honors Recipient Society. So they gave him an award, and that was pretty cool. Anyway, so that I wanted to start with the good, and Gary Sinise is the good, the epitome of the good. So if you can help that one out, that's one I would point anybody towards for helping. If you wanted to give to a charity or something, that would be the one. All right, next one here. This one here is an example of a not so good one. I keep looking at my chat. My camera's right there. I see you. Okay. Preying on patriotism. Sham veterans and first responder charities ousted for deception. Their professional fundraising largely left unscathed. Now, these people have been receiving money, not doing anything with it. They get ousted, but then they don't have to return the money, even when they find out it's a sham. I don't get that. Our system is just about broken. Omaha, Nebraska investigative TV, state and federal regulators have cracked down on several charities who collected millions of dollars in the name of veterans, police, and firefighters, but did little to help them. These charities deceived donors about how their money was spent and used third-party for-profit fundraisers to peddle the deception in telephone and mail solicitation, government records show. The fundraisers told donors their contributions would help thousands of men and women in uniform, but in the end, the donations largely only enriched and paid the fundraisers and the charities' executives. While regulators have shuttered some of the worst sham charities in the past 2 years, their hired gun fundraising companies remain in business. Today, these fundraisers work for some of the worst rated charities nonprofit watchdog reports show. Some veterans and widows of fallen first responders criticize their companies for profiting off their suffering. Let's see. Folsom's charity stands in stark contrast to one called Help the Vets. The Federal Trade Commission sued Help the Vets for spending 95% of its $11 million in donations on charities, executives, and on its fundraisers. 95% on their lining their pockets, 5% to help the veterans, $11 million they got. That is one called Help the Vets. So profiting off of the distress of veterans. It has since been shuttered, but its professional fundraiser donor relations continues to solicit for other veterans and first responder charities. Regulators also closed down Vietnow National Headquarters, charity for using professional fundraisers to deceive donors about how the organization helped Vietnam veterans. The organization hired Donor Relations and Midwest Publishing DN to make those pitches. Donor Relations couldn't be reached for comment. Mail sent to the Wilmington, Delaware address the company listed with state regulators was returned as undeliverable. So I'm going to tell you, you need to research the groups that you're going to donate to for your charities. It's got to be done. Midwest Publishing did not respond to multiple requests for comment. State regulators put Healing Heroes Network out of business for falsely claiming that 100% of the donations helped veterans of the wars in the Middle East. And used professional fundraiser outreach calling, which pitched the charity to potential donors. The company did not respond to multiple requests for comment. Imagine that. Oh, we got caught. Let's get quiet. These professional fundraising companies today solicit for some veterans and first responder charities that spend at least 80% of their budget on raising money. It raises red flags and it's a bad practice, says Kevin Scully, Chief Relationship Officer for the watchdog nonprofit charity Navigator based in New Jersey. Charities, he said, should not spend more than 20 to 30% of their budget on fundraising and administrative costs. But investigative TV analysis of the most recent IRS tax document of 30 poorly rated veterans and first responder focused charities who hire professional fundraisers shows that they aren't following the golden rule. Donor Relations collected nearly $9.7 million for the Florida-based International Union of Policy Associations and was paid $8.5 million for its services. That's some shit. I'm sorry. That represents nearly 88 cents of every dollar. Outreach calling raised more than $5.8 million for Firefighter Support Foundation based in Massachusetts, but the professional fundraising company fees and expenses exceeded $5.2 million. The charity essentially paid the fundraisers 90 cents of every donated dollar. Did I mention Gary Sinise is one of the best, if not the best, of these charities to consider donating to? I just thought I might throw that in there. Benny? What did he say here? Hey, Benny, good to see you. My patriot brother Alex, my grandbabies, and my daughter and son-in-law went back home to New London, North Carolina. Well, hope they have a safe trip. I hope you had a good time hanging out. All right. Are you snoring over there? I thought maybe I heard that. All right. Now, and of the more than 600,000 raised by Midwest Publishing for the Center for Americans Homeless Veterans, 90% covered the fundraiser's fees and expenses. Overall, the nonprofit-based Virginia spends, let's see, the nonprofit based in Virginia spends 90 cents of every donation, 90 cents of every donated dollar on fundraising, according to the charity Watchdog, a nonprofit watchdog organization. Patty, thank you for that info. My birthday is February 12th, and I'm going to post Facebook birthday charity, and I am glad I know not to choose the bad ones. I'm glad I could do that for you, and happy birthday. Mine's on the 13th, so you're only a day older than me. But anyway. All right, so the outside fundraising industry that focuses on telephone and certain kinds of mailings are really suspect, said Iowa Attorney General Tom Miller, who has taken legal action against many third-party fundraisers over 3 decades. There just has been too many bad activities in that general. Oh, right on. We need to have a birthday party this month. We should do that. Everybody just mail each other a piece of cake. Wow, we know what our parents were doing 9 months ago, don't we? Damn. Ugh, that's gross. Anyway, so veterans, police, firefighters elicit passion for donors because of the life-saving and life-threatening work they do. People open their pocketbooks to help a soldier who lost a limb, a widow whose husband was killed on 9/11, or a family of a firefighter debilitated by cancer after toiling in noxious smoke and soot. Do what? Her way, we're almost tweenies. Yeah, right. Somewhere between 50 and 100, I think. Or, yeah, pretty close to that. Um, the But in doing so, they also sometimes unknowingly open their wallets to charities and fundraisers who exploit real needs for personal gain. Um, yeah, so that is several examples of the not good fundraisers. Unfortunately, these have been closed, but they're still out there. Um, Now, the article that was sent to me by California Critic is one of these that is still active. So I have a real problem with that, and I am so grateful to California Critic for sending it to me, because that really helps me put together good information for these shows. If you guys come across articles or things that you feel would be of interest pertaining to veterans, military, or first responders, um, please hit me up on my email and drop me a link, and I'll acknowledge you on my show for doing so, and thank you personally. California Critic doesn't like me anymore, so he's not here tonight. So I'll have to thank him later. I'll send a text to him. But either way, so if you guys help me out, then I'll give you all the credit. The credit is due. Um, each year, Fred Salanti receives a check in the mail for a few $1,000s. Salanti, a 72-year-old Vietnam veteran, uses the money to keep his small Reading-based charity afloat. It buys a few wheelchairs for veterans, covers student scholarships, and sometimes funds a monument at the cemetery, he said. We're down here scrabbling with shoestrings, Cellini said of his charity, Victory Insured Through Service, or VETS. Saltini said he tries to not question much in life. Authorities identified, let's see, that's a different headline. So here, VETS is scrambling. They're not spelling it right. Scrambling because the money Salanti receives a small fraction of the amount actually raised in the name of his charity. Most of the money that people donate to VETS goes to West Sacramento telemarketing firm 160 miles away. Veterans get little benefit from the money. That telemarketing firm, Sager and Associates, has consistently retained more than 90% of all the donations it collected on behalf of vets. Now, this organization is not the problem. They aren't trying to screw the people. This guy that put together vets is on the up and up. He's at the mercy of organizations that actually prey on 501c3 corporations and take most of their donations away from them in the name of, assisting their charity. Um, let's see. So 90% of the donations it collects on behalf of vets and charging the charity millions of dollars over 3 decades, the Sacramento Bee found. The web of tax filings, financial disclosures, and legal documents show this relationship between the West Sacramento fundraiser and vets continued as the California Attorney General's office, which regulates commercial fundraising outfits, did little to investigate it. Of course, he was probably getting paid by the same company that was sucking the veterans dry. Press Lincoln was a tyrant. Um, okay. Oh, well, happy birthday. Remember, the lottery was started to help the schools. That money never made it to the schools. Yeah, a very small fraction of it did. But, prey on those heartstrings, get the children. It's all about the children's until we're ready to kill them in the womb, so that type of thing. Boise is uh, libtarded. Boise State and the city are actually working on it. Okay, cool. Um, infringe state rights, force laws no one voted for, warred against, gained citizens, denied succession. Well, yeah, I mean, that can be construed as a tyrant, but he did a lot of things. The problem that he with the secession, I mean, wasn't going to go into this tonight, but I'll add to that. Um, if he would have allowed the states to secede from the Union, he would have also been writing off all of those people that he intended to release from indentured servitude by losing his ability to enforce federal law on those states. So even though the Civil War wasn't started because of slavery, that's a misnomer, it's false information. That was ultimately decided to be one of the focal points for reaching a conclusion of the war, was that freeing the slaves. So there were some things that had to be done in order to keep the people from being kept as slaves. So there's a lot to that. I can see where tyranny could be described, but also a forcing one thing in order to allow for liberation. So it's a double-edged sword. It's standing on the sharp end of the knife and hoping not to fall off at one side or the other. All right. So anyway, that deal with California, my guess is that telemarketing company is very likely kicking money back to the elected officials in order for them to keep their mouths shut about it. Meanwhile, they're ripping off the vets charity in California. All right, now next one here. What is my time getting to be? Oh, 5 minutes. All right, let me just real quick mention this page that I found. This is called Charity Navigator, your guide to intelligent giving. Now, this is a page. I'm going to put the link. Link is going to be right here, and yeah, if you want my email, it's right underneath the video in the information. It should be under most every video I've done. Send me an email and I'll respond to you. Anyway, so that link is Charity Navigator. Before you consider putting in for a charity, I'd recommend that you go put the charity through the Charity Navigator, and it'll give you their stars rating. It'll give you their expense reports. Uh, it'll it'll basically, it's going to run it down for you. It's going to tell you what they've made, what they've contributed. So not a whole lot that you're not going to get from here. The only thing is, and this may be a good way to identify a good charity. The only thing is with this Charity Navigator is the charity itself has to voluntarily donate that information to this page. So if the charity you're looking at isn't listed on here, it's probably because they chose not to divulge their information, which can also be a red flag and give you a good reason to walk away from them. So just look up charitynavigator.org. I think I put too much on there because I have the Wounded Warrior Project pulled up from what I was looking at. But anyway, it's charitynavigator.org, and put your charity in there, see what they're doing, how they're doing, and get the information you need before you donate. All right. Oh, thank you, Margot. Right on. You're stepping right into the mod position. All right. Last one that I want to go over is this one. I've been following this one. It's a good deal. So I've hit you with Gary Sinise, which is top notch. I've told you about 4 of them now that are, well, with the exception of vets, that that one he's being ripped off by outside entities. So you can't blame him for that one. But um, anyway, so this is another example of a good one. It's Homes for Our Troops, top rated veterans charity. This group goes around different states, buys land, and builds tiny home communities where it's all veterans all the time. Um, Matthew, good to see you, brother. What's up? I've been paying attention to what you got going on a lot lately. So a lot of stuff in this world. Why are most churches open one day a week when there are so many homeless? That's a very good question. It's a question I always ask. All right, so again, this one here, the Homes for Our Troops, top rated veterans charity, is also, it can be found on Charity Navigator. So they're not afraid to say what they got going on. They got a gold star. They've got a very high rating. Their program really does go towards the veterans. Um, let's see. And comprehensive selection process building where the veteran wants to live and spending nearly 90 cents of every dollar to support the veterans since the inception in 2004. So you hear that difference? 90 cents of every dollar goes to this program. Mailman church never really helped from what I found out. Yeah, me too. I've been concerned for many years that a lot of churches are nothing more than a money laundering organization. Um, where, what picture? Oh, well, thank you. Wuhan. Oh, you mean the pneumonic plague? Yeah, I've been really looking into that a lot. Um, Ronald is leaving. Have a good night. All right, I'm going to be leaving too, actually, here in just a second. You guys, come here, Penny. Come here, baby. I told you I'd bring her down, let you guys check her out for a minute. Oh, I know you were asleep. Oh, I know. I'm so mean, but it's for your own good. All right, that's Penny. She's a little, she's up. She's my one-eyed bandit, but that's Penny. Say hi, Penny. Yeah, look at that eye squint. She's tired. But anyway, she's settling right in. She's enjoying it here. And, we're going to give her a good long life of nothing but happiness because she's already been through hell and she's not going to get any more of that. We'll get her hair did and get her nails did and get her happy and healthy and get a little bit of weight put back on her. So we'll get it done. Patriot puppy, yes indeed. She's my Patriot Penny, my one-eyed Lincoln. But anyway, so that is Penny. All right, baby, right back. There you go, as you were. That didn't take but a second. All right, folks. With that being said, I am going to wrap this thing up. I appreciate you guys being here. My moderators, thank you very much. You guys rocked the joint. All the people that donated an hour of their lives to my miserable me, I love you for it. And like I said, hit the thumbs up and tell your friends about me. If you come up with articles, hit my email up. I will respond to you. Um, Harvard professor arrested. Yeah, yep. And two of his cohorts were caught leaving the country with vials of bioagents. And the pneumonic plague was created in Missouri in a level 4 lab. And somehow it ended up in a level 4 lab over in China, in the Wuhan province. So, all right, cool. I'll wait for the call. All right, y'all. That's what I got for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the thumbs up. We'll see y'all next time. Stay in the fight.